Hey, happy Friday. Welcome to the Aloha Friday Marketing Jam Session. I'm Tom Gaddis, my business partner, Nick Ponte, on the call as well. We are excited that you are here. We got a great show lined up for you today. We're going to be talking about some AI agency automation, auto magic, as we like to call it. We're going to be talking about what's been going on in the agency. We're going to do some shout outs. We're going to take your questions. We're just going to hang out for a while on this fine Friday afternoon and have a good time. So wherever you're at, grab a cool drink. I'm going to cue up the intro and we will see you back here in one momento.
It's now time, the moment you've been waiting for. Get ready for the fastest 60 minutes of marketing strategies and tactics to build your remote empire from anywhere in the world. After 167 agonizing hours, they've finally returned. From the sun-soaked Sin City and the sandy shores of Maui, Hawaii, now back for a brand new Aloha Marketing Jam Session. It's your hosts, the Offline Sharks and Remote Millionaires, Tom Gaddis and Nick Ponte.
Oh yeah, listen to that crowd out there. Fired up. Awesome. Let me turn this down a little. Welcome everybody. Welcome. Let's look in the comments and see who the heck is hanging out with us today, Nick.
We got
I see Michael Marquez, Dave Sutherland, Chris, what's up? Dorn, Megalodon Dorn. Hey, have you guys been on those trainings that Richie and Dorn have been doing for AGM? If you have been, let us know what you think in the comments. I've heard lots of good stuff. I see Frank the Tank, Bilal, Jeff, Cody. What's up, Cody? Kristen, Enrique. Hey, Cody, just so you know, I got your message, but I've been talking to Cameron and Nick about it, so I will get back to you. And then when you think I was ghosting you. Bruce, what's up, Bruce? Aloha. We got St. Louis in the house. Welcome. Oh, somebody said I was just in Vegas for 3.5 days last week. What an awesome training I was at. Oh, fantastic. Yeah, you know, where is... Oh, Kat's not on here. Man, if you're ever in Vegas, you guys hit me up. I love to meet up with people when they come here. I was supposed to meet up with Kat. Well, she was here for something, but it didn't work out. Barbara, what's up? Andrew, what's up, Maddie? Jacqueline, welcome. Well, where should we start? Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. Where should we start? What's been going on at the agency? Nick, what's been going on there?
Lots of stuff. Been pretty buried. Pretty buried with it. You know, as I've mentioned the last couple of weeks, we've been growing at a crazy rate. So it has been important for us to make sure that all of our clients are happy. And, you know, over the last couple of months, we've really been working on the retention side of the business and made a key hire, an account coordinator, and really just been building out the SOPs and the processes and training that person to make sure that all of our 40-ish clients are happy. You know, the thing that you really want to pay attention to with all of your clients is, you know, how happy are they? How likely are they to leave? What is your churn rate? And we talked about this last week. And it's a little bit more of a complex topic than just, you know, something you can gloss over very quickly. It takes some work and thought and some training to be able to keep your clients happy, but also create processes and systems around keeping your clients happy. So I've been really working on that a lot. And, you know, obviously in the topic of today's show around AI, been really kind of diving deep in the world of artificial intelligence and the nuances and the connections between agency owners and what we do in the agency and the marketing world. Is anybody doing any of that stuff themselves? Are you dabbling in the AI stuff? Are you seeing how you can leverage it to better grow your business and streamline some of your systems and operations? Because for me, I mean, Tom and I, man, we talk about it almost every day. It's pretty mind-blowing what you can actually get done with these tools. Cody says he uses it all day, every day. I know.
Yeah.
What is your I'm curious because I've been playing a lot with these different prompts and commands for AI. What are your favorite prompts? A couple one of my most favorite ones that I've come across so far was asking it to create a 3-day itinerary for a corporate retreat in Florence, Italy, where we're meeting the agency. The agency team is all meeting up in Florence in a couple of months. But, for me, traveling and making plans and figuring out where to stay and what to do and all those things like that, I can't do that. Like, I suck at doing that. But I asked ChatGPT to do it for me, and they came up with the most insane itinerary I've ever seen. It was like, stop at this coffee shop, have a coffee, and then walk over to this museum and check out this statue, and then go to this place. And then you can tell it to do things like incorporate some sort of team building exercise, and it will add that into the fold and give you an entirely new 3-day itinerary. So I thought that was pretty cool.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah. That's pretty awesome. Hey, Kat, I'm not sure what happened. I emailed you back with my cell phone number, but it must have got lost or something. Sorry about that. I was wondering what happened there because I was expecting to hear from you. Maybe check your spam. It might be in there.
What about you, Tom? What about on your end? I know you've been working hard on some AGM stuff.
Yeah, I have. I've been working on some AGM things, putting together a new course that's kind of a bridge between Agency Growth Machine and Remote Millionaire. So working on that. I've been working on the AGM presentation. Also had just some kind of standard health screening stuff I had to do this week. So that kind of took a chunk out of my week because I had to do some prep and then go in, and I had to have somebody that could drive me and all that stuff. So, but was still able to work all around that. So that was really good. And everything was good on that end. So excited about that. And I'm excited about the new stuff I'm working on. I don't want to go into too much detail yet because you'll be hearing a lot about that here in a few weeks. But yeah, so that's pretty much been about it.
Man, it's nice to know that, when, and we talked about this last week, I'm pretty sure this was the topic for last week, when life gets going, that systems and operations can keep things in place. Yeah. Businesses can keep running. So if you have to do things for your health, you have to do things with your family. For me, I don't know if I said this, but my dad broke his hip recently, and he was at my house when it happened. And so, he's been living here at my place for the last couple of weeks, kind of helping him with like the rehab portion, and people are coming here for him to, do his exercises and all those things. And it's just been interesting. I haven't lived with my dad for a very long time, and I've had to carve out a bunch of time to be able to be there with the assist, with a lot of things, and visiting him at the emergency room and all, at the other rehab center and stuff like that. So, while all of that has been happening and life has been unfolding, we've been able to continue to grow, not only the agency, but also Offline Sharks and Remote Millionaires too. And so, the systems and processes really are the key in building that sustainable business.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I know, sometimes we see and talk to a lot of people, especially in the coaching program, a lot of life stuff starts to happen. And just so you guys know, that happens to everybody, right? Everybody deals with all of these kinds of things. And, really kind of the key to it is obviously, taking care of what you need to take care of, but also just continuing to move forward with what you're working on, right? Like not letting it totally sideline you or your progress, just doing what you can when you're able to. And, the systems and processes definitely help with that as well. But also it's just, a lot of it is like the mental side of it too, right? Of just knowing that, hey, we just got to keep pushing forward regardless of the things that are going on. So,
yeah. And, one thing I think that can be easy to overlook if you have this type of business that we all do is the luxury of the model. It's easy to gloss over and forget the fact that, what would it look like to go through this process that I've been going through with the family stuff, or even with you with health stuff, if we didn't have the type of business model we have. If we did have to go to a 40 an hour week job at Logan's Roadhouse or Bubba Gump Shrimp, or, you know, I was working on cars, if I had to go to the shop, you know, and all this stuff was going on, like what would my life look like with that type of lifestyle? And so, you know, I've been thinking about that a lot lately. Like I'm super fortunate that if something comes up, clear the schedule. I can do that. And, you know, when I got started into building the agency, I didn't know that that would be a luxury that would happen, an opportunity or a possibility even that I could do something like that. And man, I wouldn't give that up for the world. Would you?
No, no, I think about that a lot too, especially too, you know, cause like everybody else, I go through moments of, you know, sometimes like I'm really up and positive, and other times you just feel kind of blah and you're sorted down. And especially when things are going on, but like, I think about that all the time about, well, man, if I were still a restaurant manager, what would this situation be like? And then it usually brings me right back to being pretty thankful for where I'm at, you know? And also too, it gives me a new perspective on, and maybe some of you can relate to this. Like when I had just moved to Maui, like literally had just moved my new little family there. I'd only been there for 8 months, had never been to Hawaii before. And I got fired from that job. Like that felt like the end of the world. Right? Like that felt like just about the worst possible thing that could have happened to me at the moment. And it would have been very easy to let that kind of swallow me up. Right? But, you know, I didn't. I, you know, tried to put a positive spin on it and said, hey, well, this gives me an opportunity to try to do something I've been wanting to do and make an effort and a real go at it. And, you know, now I look back on that moment and I think that's like the best thing that could have happened to me. Right. Like if I hadn't gotten fired from that job, like where would I be? Right. Like if you'd got accepted into the fire department, where would we be? Like, it's just so crazy how, you know, my perception of the things that happen in my life at the time can be very black or white. They can be like, this is good, this is bad, this is good, this is bad. And like, the reality is it's not that way. Right. It's, some things that I thought were really bad have turned out to be some of the better things that happened to me. Some things that I thought were just like a real struggle, like just going through the struggle and coming out on the other side, changed me in some way that was for the better, you know, or allowed me to evolve personally in a way that was better. So, you know, if you're out there and you're going through some stuff and you feel like, oh, this isn't ever going to get better, you know, I always try to remember, like, look, you know, all of these things are temporary. And as long as we continue to move forward and try to keep our head right. And sometimes that takes a lot more effort than other times. But, you know, I do have a belief that, you know, it's, if we just keep trying to do the right thing, move in the right direction, keep our eye on the prize, that stuff works out. So
for those who here is feeling maybe stuck in their business, or they're feeling like they have maybe using Dorn's words, maybe God put a giant obstacle in front of your path in building a successful business or growing your business right now. Because I mean, I can tell you from my experience that those obstacles appear no matter what level you're at, and they don't ever go away completely. They will always appear. It'll always be something. There will always be a new fire to put out. And really what it comes down to is your ability to being able to have that self-awareness and knowing this is just an obstacle. Or actually somebody that I heard recently put it in a really great way that I understand is that in business, there are different types of fires. Like she looks at the fires in different categories. There are garbage can fires, which are like, you know, they're small fires. There's a window fire, and then there's a total house fire. And so when these issues or obstacles come up in your business, you have to know what type of fire that you're dealing with. You know, if it's a garbage can fire, you can probably let your team handle it, right? You don't have to jump in and get your whole day screwed up or messed up because you're getting involved, because that can be a total it can have a huge effect on you as the person that's the CEO or the business owner. If you get involved in things that are small tasks, but they have huge impacts on your mental state, then it's going to derail your entire day, maybe your week, maybe your month. And so having the awareness of saying, like, this is a dumpster fire or a garbage can fire, a window fire, or my house is about to burn down. Those are the ones that you need to jump in and really take action really quickly. But your ability to have that awareness on what it is and coming up with a way for you to reset so that you can keep your forward momentum is huge. And I think we've talked about this recently. We've felt like overwhelmed or lost, like you don't know what the next step is. And really, for me, it's just figuring out, like, okay, what is the next bite-sized step that I need to take, and just put one foot in front of the other and knock that one out first. Don't worry about the other 30 that are behind it, but just take the first next step.
Yeah, absolutely. What's that saying? When one door closes, another opens. Or as my wife's brother used to say, if that happens, just if one door closes and another door doesn't open, just open the first door. It's a door. That's what doors do. I was like, oh yeah, like we could just try again. It's so crazy. Awesome. Yeah, I see people are saying, yeah, this stuff definitely happens. Motivation, yeah, definitely challenges. Yeah, I mean, all of that stuff comes up for everybody, right? We just got to continue to charge ahead and adjust our plans as that stuff happens.
And then what happens is you find things that start to re-motivate you, re-energize you. You find a way to get a new edge, like what we're going to talk about today, which is with artificial intelligence, with AI. You can take whatever situation you're in and get excited about something new and creative that can help you in ways that, I don't know, in the past maybe challenged you. I know that for me, the AI element allows me to be such a higher level operator, because there are a lot of pieces for me that are difficult in being an operator, coming up with, creative topics and things like that. And if you use artificial intelligence like a search engine, brainstorming ideas, coming up with those types of things, those were huge bottlenecks for me. I mean, I know some people come up, like Tom, for example, comes up with ideas pretty quickly. Like, he gets them all the time. I have to spend a lot more time sitting down, brainstorming, getting in a quiet room, putting shit up on the whiteboard, and really dissecting the topic, the thought process, and having this remote learning tool, or this tool that's built on remote learning, giving you feedback. It's almost like you have this black belt level business person in the room with you at all times. That's kind of what it feels like.
Yeah. Well, and then when you start to combine it with some of the newer tools and some of the existing tools that are incorporating it now, like, it really is an edge for somebody who's not at a point where they have a team yet, or they have those things in place. Like, you can really kind of leverage that AI to do some of those things. Like, for instance, this week we've been emailing about Click Agency AI, which is basically what that thing does, right? It's like you type in a niche and a keyword, and it builds entire ad campaigns with landing pages, and it does images, and like all of this stuff that you would need 3 or 4 people and to spend a bunch of money on, you can basically just do with a couple of clicks of the button and inputting some simple things into this tool. And I was watching too, like yesterday, Nick, I watched that video you sent me over, or was it the day before? The video you sent me over of the AI integrations that are coming in high level, right? Like, really amazing stuff that's coming down the pipe, and our ability to be able to leverage that and use that in various things is pretty amazing. I thought the high level founder guy, he had a really interesting thing that he talked about in there, because he was talking about his team at high level and how, so they have like on their website, they have like a support widget like we do at Offline Sharks, and they have live people that answer that support widget. And so they have a pretty big team to do that, right? They're a pretty big company, so they have a pretty big team to handle that. And they were asking him about, well, like what's going to happen, because they're looking at integrating AI to handle a big chunk of that workload. And they were like, well, Like, doesn't it worry you that like you're going to put those people out of work, or the people at your company, aren't they worried that they're going to be put out of work? And he was like, no, like he's like, I don't see it that way. He's like, I see it as, if those people, if they don't have to do this thing, like we can refocus them on something else that can be even more productive for us. Like he mentioned early on in high level, he used to like call every new user. Mm-hmm. He's like, as they've grown, that's been something that they haven't been able to do. But if they're able to leverage AI to handle some mundane tasks of the support team that's already in place, they can use that existing support team to then start doing those calls. So he's like, it's not really like you're replacing anybody. It's just you're able to focus on things that maybe you weren't able to before, because now you have the manpower to do it and the ability to do those types of things.
Yeah, it's very true. And there's actually an analogy I think that somebody shared either there or in another session somewhere, or another training that I was watching, where does anybody feel that way, where AI may take away some jobs, maybe even from you? Are you afraid that AI can ruin marketing? Because there are a lot of people out there that are thinking like, now that there's AI, there's going to be problems for marketers. There's going to be a lot less marketing jobs, whether you're in content creation or website building or graphic design or whatever it is. But the way that I heard this put, and I'll probably screw it up, but they compared it to the situation of like back in the day when chainsaws were invented, right? So if you think lumberjacks that were chopping down trees prior to the chainsaw had axes, and they're chopping down trees with axes. When the chainsaw was invented, people thought that, maybe that would put all of them out of business because they wouldn't have these, or the skills would be replaced by machines. But really, all it ever did was make them better at cutting down trees. It took the chainsaws and became better tree trimmers or whatever, lumberjacks. I feel like it is the same way with marketing. I don't think it'll take away marketing jobs. I feel like it will make people that are good at marketing even better. It's a stronger, a better tool, a better resource that can help you. And even like someone like me that, the creative process or coming up with topics or coming up with, questions or bullet points, those are the things that they take a lot of time. Then I can get quick answers. I use it as a sounding board. That's really what I use it for. It's a sounding board. I ask it questions, I get feedback, I ask for variations, things like that.
Yeah, that's so true. And too, like, marketing and digital marketing has been through a lot of this, right? Like,
right.
Whenever they started to refine like the paid ads algorithms, you had all these people that were making their living because it was so complicated to figure out paid ads. Now the algorithms do so much of that work. Like, did that put all of those PPC strategy people out of business? No, because the strategy still becomes even more important, right? Like, well, what's like being able to look at those things and adjust, like when you can understand the bigger picture and really see what's going on and how to apply that stuff, like then you're able to leverage those tools to just help you get there. You know what I mean? So I think it's really good for us. And it also should motivate you to sharpen your skills when it comes to just marketing know-how, right? Like we need to understand the basic strategies and the things that work and all that stuff.
Yeah. I would say the one piece that does scare me is when people become too dependent on it.
Yeah.
And potentially what that risk could be for someone that is new to marketing. It's one thing if you have a solid foundation, you have skills, you've been practicing copywriting, you've been researching, you know how to research, you know how to put theories and processes together, and then you implement something like this to help you. But it's an entirely separate thing if all you ever know is having this computer tell you what to do and give you responses. And if you take away the computer, you're back at zero. That's kind of a scary thought for me. So I don't want to rely on it completely, at least me personally. I want to use it as an amplifier in what I do. And it is something that I'm thinking about, for the younger generation coming up behind us, that if all they ever know is to get responses and answers from, AI and Chat GPT, that's going to be weird. Don't you think?
Yeah. I don't know. I had a lot of practice getting told what to do from my wife. So,
Right.
AI is really nothing new, really
Oh, that
nothing
was a good
new.
one.
Awesome. Hey, why don't we take a break real quick and let's do some shark shout outs, and then we'll take some questions. Maybe you guys have some questions, and we'll talk a little bit about Click Agency. We've been sending some emails about that. We've got a pretty awesome bonus package put together for that as well. And then we have a member of the week this week, so we want to make sure we do that as well. So let me share my screen and let's do some shark shout outs. All right. Here we go. Oh, I don't know if you see this up here, but there's two AI tools right there, Bard and Chat GPT. Yeah. Just quietly sitting.
Just taking notes in the background. Monitoring your every move.
Awesome. So our shark shout outs for this week. First, Storm Norman. He had an old client reactivation after a follow-up email. Service sold $848 Canadian, which is $630 US. Richie Cronin, who was doing the awesome AGM training for the reactivation pack. He had a website fix plus added a new contacts page, sold a $1,100 video plus another 7 premium AGM listings, his Auckland buy local, $350. And then Taps sold a cleaning website, logo design $550, $2,000 monthly recurring Google ads and marketing for a construction company. So good stuff, man. And guys, have these slides for the shout outs not been looking awesome? I sent Shushan a note. Shushan, who's on our team, she puts these slides together for us. And like the quality of the slides has been going up and up and up. So this looks really good. Great work, Shushan. A shout out to you too. I know you're behind the scenes there. Let's see. Our next shout out goes to Ben Denny. Sold a simple website to a bakery, $600 plus $20 a month for hosting. That's awesome. Cody Weaver did his normal wins dump in the group. He's always got several that he pops in there. He closed a flea market, $1,200 upfront for commercial production, plus $1,000 a month social media marketing. Personal injury attorney, 30-second video, $460. $500 a month social media management. That's interesting. One of the bonuses we have for Click Agency is a video thing. We'll talk about that in a second. He upsold a restaurant from $250 a month Google Business Profile Management and listings to $850 a month on a 36-month agreement. That is a solid win right there. $700 a month for miscellaneous services on a 36-month agreement to a restaurant. $500 for a 30-second video plus $99 a month fee plus ad spend for Facebook ads to a vitamin shop on a 36-month agreement. Those are pretty good. Locked in for 3 years. That's awesome.
Wow.
And then
3 years.
What's that? 3 years. Yeah. Yep. Nick Ponte Marketing closed a Google Ads deal for a Jeep rental company, $3,000. That brings our combined total to $15,079 for the week of March 25th through 31st. Since the start of 2023, you guys have closed $364,274 in deals that we know of. So if you haven't shared your wins, share them. As you know, we hit 1.6 million last year and we're trying to double that. So get those wins in the group. If you don't have any, get out there and start taking some action and let's get those wins going. So excellent work, everybody.
Yeah. So today's the last day of Q1. And so what are we at? 380,000, 360,000?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're on track to probably crack 1 million, but we need to bump it up hard.
We're definitely going to crack 1 million. I mean, at this rate, we're looking at 1.5, 1.6. We're falling a little behind, friends. Make sure to share your wins.
Awesome. And our member of the week. So every week we like to celebrate. I just forget about that graphic. Our member of the week. We send them out this great shark treasure chest. Lots of nice goodies in there. Each member of the week gets one. This week, our member of the week is dun, 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 dun. Okay, there we go. Ben Denny. Congratulations, Ben. Somebody from the team is going to be reaching out. He shared one of his recent wins, and he also expressed how his confidence is growing the more he does. And in turn, he's gotten comfortable with raising his prices as time passes. So awesome work, Ben. I love that picture of you and your family. That's a great picture to see. And congratulations. Somebody from the team will reach out. Your shark treasure chest will be on its way.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. So what do you guys want to talk about now?
Let's talk more about AI and what we got going on right now with our bonus package for.
Oh yeah, I can run through that real quick.
Click Agency.
Yeah. Yep. So Click Agency AI, it's a new course that just launched a couple of days ago, Ben Murray. And it's got some, I mean, it's pretty awesome. I don't know if you haven't watched the little video they have on the page, you're going to want to go do that. I'll put a link up here in a minute, but we threw together a little bonus package for this. It's a pretty awesome piece of software. Like literally it does everything. Like, hold on, let me find this image. It does lead campaigns. It does AI videos. It'll put together client lead campaigns. It'll integrate clients into the app. It can produce like any kind of marketing material that you can think of. It's got some pay-per-click training. It does AI images, and it also does auto ad submission. So a pretty amazing tool for the price that they're selling at. And we put together some awesome bonuses. So let me share my screen here and I'll go over that real quick. It would be a great thing. I see somebody said, can it be used with home services jackpot? It would be a great service to offer. Like when you sold a home services jackpot website and you're looking to do more marketing services for somebody, Click Agency would be a great tool for that. So here's our bonus page. And here's a little bundle of some of the things we put together. But a couple of things that we included in here. One is a course that a friend of ours, Bruce New Media, did for us called How to Sell Videos to Local Clients. This is a great, quick little 5-video lesson course with a bunch of samples and prospecting stuff on actually how to sell videos to local businesses. This a really great bonus with the Click Agency. We've also got our high-paying client secrets, $199 value, a video marketing profit kit. I mean, this is a great one. Our done-for-you in-house client intake form. We've got some pre-written service contracts for 3 top local services. Plus, we talked to Ben, and he threw in some additional bonuses for us. One is infinite credits, which is like a $500 value. So the other one is the special agency license, which is another $500 value. So when you pick up Click Agency AI through our link, you get these 2 things included, plus some agency consultant training, some Instagram marketing kit, and some marketing agency flyers. So all of that stuff, I think it's just, it's like $3,700 in value, and you get it all free. All you have to do is buy Click Agency through our link. You go to this link that I'm going to put up here. I'm going to let it scroll over the bottom of the page. You go to offlinesharks.com/automagic, and then just scroll down and make sure you click this link. And then all those bonuses are delivered instantly inside your JVZoo account. So again, really, really great piece of software. I've been playing around with it. Pretty amazing.
Has anybody picked it up? Has anybody picked up?
A few people have bought it.
And yeah, I know a lot of people have, but I mean, anybody here picked it up and had a look? Because, the way that you can print all that stuff out is pretty damn insane.
I mean, just to have it do the various marketing materials, like, one of the things, and we haven't done this in a while, but I don't know if you remember, Nick, when we were very first starting Offline Sharks, one of the things that we used to always look for and bring to our community were PLR packs. Remember? And like, cause we had like, every time we saw a PLR pack that was local marketing focused, we always bought it, because there's nothing worse than having to come up with something. You were talking about this at the beginning of the show. There's nothing worse than starting from a blank page. Mm-hmm. And it always helps even if you ultimately don't end up using the PLR, a lot of times it can stimulate your ideas, get you going, give you a base framework to work off of, even sometimes just an outline that you can get going. And so I always prefer to start from that kind of stuff than starting from scratch. And I mean, now with AI and with what this tool does, like you can just go in, I need a hot sheet. Like it'll just make it, right? I need this. I need and it's amazing. And again, maybe you'll use those, maybe you won't, but you can get all that stuff and have a starting point and for various clients. So
yeah, that industry actually probably is affected pretty drastically.
Yeah. You think?
Yeah. Or maybe they just create better PLR. I don't know. I mean, there's that too.
Well, I mean, and the fact that a lot of it is unique is, I think, an advantage over typical PLR.
Yeah. I read something somewhere that they coined this title called the AI Whisperer as like, that is a new job. That is a new role that is out there. And an AI Whisperer is basically somebody that operates a chatbot. And I don't know where they got this number from or where they got this info from, but they were saying that some big companies are willing to pay a really high level AI whisperer up to like $250,000 a year to just know how to use these new AI tools and operate them in a way that's going to be advantageous to them. I don't know. That number seemed a little high, but I do think that there is going to be this new type of operator that is going to appear that is just an expert at using these different prompts, because every time I use these tools, it's like I find out a new way to make my results and the things that come back to me even that much stronger, by asking, for example, you can ask it to write you something, and then you can tell it again to write it again, but make it more persuasive. And then it'll make the same thing more persuasive. And then you can tell it to make it shorter, or make it in somebody else's tone of voice, make it in a more serious tone of voice. Like you can continue to manipulate this thing. It's like a ball of clay that you're trying to turn into this, beautiful statue. It starts out as just one little thing, and slowly you can morph it into something that's pretty incredible. And this is kind of a teaser, I've been playing with the prompt so much that is what I'm including in our launch coming up on the 29th. But I won't let the cat out of the bag too much about that.
Not yet.
But yeah, we've been playing with things quite a bit behind the scenes, and it has to do with AI and prospecting. And so how do we use AI for prospecting? Because I think for us, wouldn't you agree? That's kind of the missing link. Prospecting. Everybody wants more clients. Everybody wants to prospect.
It is for all of you longtime sharks out there. Anybody out there remember? I think was it the first course that you and I put out together? Fast Cash website audits.
Oh yeah.
That was the first one, right? That was actually wasn't it just last Wednesday was the anniversary of that course, right?
Yeah. Yes. No. Yeah. Wednesday.
Yeah. Wednesday.
That was where local SEO Shark first started.
Yep. Yeah. That was the first product Nick and I put out. It was called Fastcast Website Audits. So for those of you that are old time sharks and maybe have that or like that, wait till you see what we are able to do with that stuff now that we have some software and AI. It is like pretty freaking amazing. And so this new course that we're going to be putting out on April 28th, so not long, it's not far out, April 28th, it's going to be coming out, is our process for that, how we're using it to prospect and how we're doing it there. You guys are going to love it. So yeah.
Been working really hard. If I look tired right now, it's because I am. It's because I've been working.
He's been working like crazy on that.
I'm serious.
And you guys are right. Click Agency is only $47. I saw somebody asking about credits. I know the AI image thing uses credits, but part of our bonus package, you get infinite credits on the AI machine if you get through there. So yeah.
Yeah. So if
April 28th.
If you go to that link, you can get the
Yeah.
the infinite credits.
Yep. You'll see that. So what questions you guys have for us?
Yeah. What, or not even if it's questions, what are you struggling with in your agency? We can ask that, what are you working on? What are you struggling with? What problem do you wish that you could solve? Are you wondering how much you should be paying the latest person you're trying to hire? Are you trying to hire somebody? Do you not know what you're trying to hire for? What are the sticking points? And I mean, I can talk about the sticking points that we're facing.
Yeah, fire away. Let's talk through some of them.
Somebody says they need more freelancers. I mean, if that process is pretty simple. If you need more freelancers, you just got to go out there and start hiring them, right? Like work out your process to bring people into your company. And this is something that we are working on too, because with the new role, with the account coordinator role that we have, a lot of you in Remote Millionaires have seen really what that role is about. The process to bring that person in needs to be repeatable. So whenever we hire somebody, whenever we develop a new role, we have to systemize that process. So now we have an account coordinator and we have to teach this person manually the first time around. But what we want to try to do is create a process to train the next person so that we do not have to be involved as much. And so for us, what that looks like is, obviously I'm spending a lot of time right now teaching this person how to perform the duties and tasks within this role. But then what I will then ask them to do after they get the hang of it is to help me create some training, send the elevator back down to the next guy that's coming up. And so when you do that, when you have that process down for all of your roles, whether it's a web developer, a content writer, or an SEO person, then whenever you reach a bottleneck, you're not sitting at your desk going, man, I need to hire somebody. Because really, when you're sitting there and you're overwhelmed with the need to hire somebody, the real frustration is the process that comes after the hiring. For me, it's the training that is the real time suck, because the actual process of hiring is like you post a job, you make a couple interviews, maybe you have a VA do a short list for you, and you have like 2 or 3 interviews with the strongest candidates and you pick one. That's really hiring. And that can be done pretty quickly. The part that doesn't happen pretty quickly is all of the follow-up to make that person a rock star. And so systemizing your training for your team is a huge piece of it.
Yeah. And I don't know if you saw this, Nick, but Upwork just made some changes to their platform recently. So one is they used to have like a tiered fee for projects. So like if you were a freelancer on Upwork and you did 10,000 or under, you paid, I think it was 10%. But if you did over 10,000, that fee went down to 5%. Upwork recently just made it 10% across the board, no matter how much work you do. And then they have like they also have like a $4.95 charge per project that's going into effect. And so if you have people on Upwork that maybe you're in contracts where they're per project or something like that, this can be a good time to renegotiate some of those and maybe move to hourly or something like that. But yeah, I'm with you. Like the hiring part is pretty strict. I know a lot of people get freaked out about the hiring part, mainly because of like what Michael said here about finding trustworthy and skilled freelancers, and Michael, that really comes down to the vetting process, right? And I think there's a couple of things that go into this. One is when we think about the normal process people go through when they're hiring a person is they start their agency, they figure they're going to do all the work themselves. And then when they get busy enough, they're going to hire somebody, right? So they're busy running their agency. Now they post a job. They really don't have a lot. Like they're just trying to get somebody in. So they tend to take the first person that looks good. And then just like Nick said, now comes the training, which is really lacking because they're busy running their agency, right? And it's very difficult to do that. So there's a couple of ways to combat this. And this is kind of what we teach our Remote Millionaires people is number one, you start looking for people before you need them. That way you're not in a rush to just hire whoever you can get in there, right? You want to feel comfortable with the person that you have that's going to do the fulfillment of whatever it is you're looking for. This in turn will help you with the selling and knowing what you're selling and all that stuff. But part of that is not being in a time crunch to get the person in, right? Because you need them to start right away. The second part is just the vetting process itself. Nick mentioned the interviews, and this is something like we always do an in-person live on Zoom interview with every candidate before we hire them. And all the times that we haven't done that, the people haven't worked out. But every time that we have done that, they've turned into very good team members for us. So that's a crucial part, like being able to look them in the eye, talk to them face to face, and really get a feel for who really is the best candidate for what you're hiring for. So that vetting process, not being rushed through it, right? Doing that in-person interview, super critical. And then the final piece of that is being able to know that when you bring that person on, you are going to be spending extra time and have extra work on your shoulders to train them and get them going in the right direction.
Yeah. Hire slow, fire fast. Like that's the saying, that people say, and I would agree with it. The times that I've taken my time and been a little more patient in vetting people have always produced much higher quality people. And it goes back to actually what Tom just said, is that you really need to be on offense with your hiring, just like you need to be on offense with your client getting. If you play in the defense,
all three of those things, and your retention.
And your retention. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. If you play in the defense on those things and you wait for clients to come to you, you wait for clients to start leaving, or you wait to have to hire some new talent in front of your growth trajectory, then you're going to always be catching up. You're going to fail miserably. And so you do have to be proactive. You do have to be on offense. You have to go out there and get clients. You have to get after that higher retention rate and make sure that churn is not happening. And you have to hire and put lines in the water. Always be hiring. Actually, just do that. Always be willing to like talk to somebody and have a conversation. And maybe you don't need them right now, but our best sales rep at the agency came in from a conversation that I had a year or two before even hiring her. And it was because I met up with her and had a coffee because she was prospecting some of my clients, and we had a coffee and we connected, we were like-minded. And later on, when she needed a job, I was the first person she called. I wasn't willing to hire at the time. I didn't have the money. I didn't have the cash flow, but I knew that, I'm trying to network. I'm trying to always be talking to people that could be a good opportunity at some point. So that's why I did that. And look, it really paid out. Like that person has brought in over 30 clients in the last 6 months, which is astronomical. So proactive, you got to be on the offense.
Yeah, I agree. There's a couple of good questions too that I want to get to. So one is, when did you hire the project manager at the agency?
So your project manager is going to be pretty much your first hire. When you have 5 clients, you're going to be doing all of your project management. You're going to be doing all of your sales. You're going to be doing most of your fulfillment, unless you have a software tool or some sort of a white label company that you're using. But when you get to more than like 5 to 10 clients, you're really going to start to need somebody to help you with the fulfillment. Our project managers, really what they do they are the go-between between the client and the fulfillment team that provides the service. So if we need a website built, our project manager talks to the client, gets their intake form filled out. So we have everything that we need to build the website. We know what they're looking for. And she will then take that information to our web developers and get that site built and make sure it comes in on deadlines and it meets the expectation of what the client has communicated. And so, that project manager is probably going to be your first hire. It could be, you could start out as a VA and then become a project manager. Our project manager started out as a content writer and then became a project manager. So if you start out with a lower level, lower base pay role like a VA, and you work well with them and they have good communication, you may want to start adding them into some project management type tasks and then accelerating their role in your business to helping you with some other things.
Yeah, absolutely. And by the way, I know you said the project manager is like the first person you hire, but we had like content writers on the team before we had the project manager. And we actually brought the first project manager up from that team of content writers, correct?
Yeah. So, like I said, the project manager, our project manager came from content writing, but your first core team member is going to be a project manager. That's different than a contractor, than a freelance content writer or a web developer or a graphic designer. I would call all of those contractors. When you want to take a contractor and bring them into your business to represent you and work with you from your brand to other people, that's what I would call more of a core team member. So you want your first core team member. It usually is a project manager or a VA of some sort.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, we're going to get to the next question. I saw some questions about click agencies. So a couple of things here. Let me show you guys something here. Somebody was asking, is it one time? So when you're on the page, there's two options, starter and professional, right? This $27 and this $42, these are one-time payments. These are not monthly. So it's a one-time payment. When you select one of these, there is an option on here. Like there are upsells and things like that. I don't know what all of them are off the top of my head. They do have a bundle deal where you can just buy everything in the funnel. It's in this little box up here. If you just click that, you can just get everything if you want. So just so you guys know, that's what that is there. But it is a one-time payment on the front end things and to get the bonuses and stuff like that. So it's a really good deal on that. The next question that I wanted to deal with here, Nick, was, I'm not sure this is, but a Facebook user, they said, how do you fire people? And I think there's a couple of things that go into this. And one is like, we talked about the importance of training, right? Because like one of the most non-effective outcomes is you spend all that time hiring somebody, training them, and just to have to let them go, right? So really we're trying in the vetting process to identify anything that's going to make us think that they're not going to work out. And for us, a lot of times that's communication. You know what I mean? Like we're constantly looking through the vetting process for red flags of things that might go wrong and asking questions about the things that could be potentially wrong, like their internet access. Is it spotty? Is it good? They're being able to check references, all those kinds of things. And then once we bring a person on and we've trained them, like we do daily check-ins. So we have every team member go into Slack at the end of each day and just type in what they did on that day, right? These are the tasks I was assigned. These are the tasks I completed. These are the questions I have. That way we can give a lot of feedback, back and forth to make sure that they're on, right? And then we spend a lot of time, especially when they begin, reviewing their work and coaching them up, right? Like, hey, I'm not like, this isn't really what I was looking for. Can you do it more like this, right? To try to avoid that. What we do now is we actually have like even though you don't need to do this with contractors, right? Like you can just let a contractor go for any reason, really, because they're not a paid employee. Right. But we like to try to be fair. Like we want to have a good work environment. We don't want people to live in fear of just, that they can get canned anytime. So we do at our companies have like a 3 strikes policy. So if somebody misses a day of work, if they don't show up for a shift, like, we talk to them.
They don't hit their quota.
They don't meet their quota. Like we sat down and talked to them about it. Hey, like these are the things I need to get done. They get done. Can you tell me what happened? Is there anything I can do to support you better? Like you're not getting something from me you needed? Like what's going on here? Right. And then there's like strike 1, strike 2, and then strike 3 can be termination. And we will tell them those things. Like, look, this is your second strike. This is the second time you've missed a shift. Like I can't run my business this way. If this happens again, I'm going to let you go. Do you understand that? Right. So we try to lay that stuff out before so that people know ahead of time what's coming. And we do a lot of that in the initial orientation with the person. So like if you're in Remote Millionaires, you have our employee handbook. It outlines a lot of the policies and our corporate environment that we have in there. So we give that handbook to every new employee. They read it. They acknowledge they read it. we have somebody go over those things. Like, look, if you're not doing your job, this is what's going to happen. This is going to be strike one, then strike two, and then strike three can be up to and including termination. So that's something that I brought with me from the restaurant business. I mean, that's how we had to do it there. And we just found that like, it just makes us feel good about the situation. Because whenever you have to let somebody go, it doesn't feel good. Right. So knowing that you've given the person a chance and you've talked to them and you've tried to do what you can to get the performance that you need out of them. I mean, all of that being that you're being realistic, right? Like you're not expecting them to be some crazy Superman for what you're paying them or whatever, or Superwoman. So we tend to do it that way. So we lay that stuff out in the beginning. Like if you miss a shift, and if for you, if missing a shift is instant termination, then you just want to tell people that. If you miss a shift without giving me at least 24 hours notice, like you're out, like just tell them that from the get-go. That way, when it happens, it's not a surprise. You can just say, hey, look, I told you. If you don't let me know ahead of time, you miss a shift, this is how it's going to be, right?
Yeah. Clear terms, clear guidelines, clear guardrails. It's really important. That what do I call it? That company handbook now has gotten a huge update recently. And there's a lot more to that, because as we've grown, we've needed it a lot more. In the beginning, firing somebody was really like there was no system to it. The 3-strike policy is great because everybody knows if they get a warning, what's next. I have also at times just bypassed the entire 3-strike rule and had to let somebody go because it really depends on what's going on and what it is.
And like what it is that they did, right? Yeah. Like, and if you're in that situation where you just got to let them go, just remember a few things. Get on a call with them. Don't be afraid. Do it in person. Be professional. Try to keep emotion out of it. Just tell them what happened. Like, this is what happened, and that's why I'm going to have to let you go. I'm really sorry. And just keep it quick, right? Like, just professional, lay out what it is, and then just let them go.
Something that came to mind when we were talking about that, though, is that if you're working with somebody and you're not getting good feelings, like you're not happy or they're not doing it, like, I don't know what the ties are exactly, but chances are there's a pretty good chance it's probably not going to work out, especially if you're looking at this person and what they're doing in your organization and you just don't ever see them becoming a rock star, right? Like, as you grow your business and as you hit these new revenue levels, you're really only looking to work with rock stars. Rock stars are people that not only take direction, but they are self-starters. They create direction. They get in front of problems before problems happen. They think ahead. They're not just there to, pound nails in. They're there to alleviate friction points and get in front of things. And so something that Alex Hormozy said that really makes sense is that he's never had somebody when in their recruitment process, he's never been sitting in front of somebody thinking about hiring them, and he's never seen somebody that he never thought would become a rock star. Does that make sense? Like, only the people that in the beginning, they're like, this person is going to be a rock star, becomes a rock star. He's never had it go the other way. Somebody that he thought wasn't becoming one.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Does that make sense?
That does make sense. I see what you're saying. Like, there's clear signs. Like, an average kind of hire probably isn't going to, they're not going to develop into that person. But if you see somebody like, man, I think they have a chance, then they have a chance.
You get that feeling when you're in front of somebody. And if you don't have that feeling, then they're probably not that person. Like, to me, a rock star is somebody that you can learn from. If you're going to be hiring people and paying them your hard-earned cash in your business, you want to be bringing in people that teach you. Because if you are the smartest person, then that's not good. Your company needs to have people that are smarter than you in your company. And so you'll always get that feeling of a rock star when you have one. I mean, even in my most recent hire, like, my new account coordinator, totally got that feeling. It's totally working out. And so if you feel like you need to fire somebody and they're never going to be what you want or need them to be, that might be something to consider.
And by the way, one thing I would add to that too is, like, you're probably not going to find the rock star when you're interviewing people that are going to work for $6 an hour. Right? Like sometimes
depends what you're trying to get them to do, you know?
Yeah. And sometimes, like, I mean, there have been times where we've had people on the team that are doing their best work, but we need a little more. And so we've had to go out and find people that we pay more because we want a higher skill level at that position. Right. And it wasn't anything really that the person did wrong. It's just they didn't have the skill set to do what we needed. So keep that in mind as well. As your business grows and you get bigger, you should be willing to, like, don't be a Scrooge when it comes to hiring great people, right? Like, you want the numbers to work and all of that, but you also want, it's an investment in your business and in your like mental well-being and the ease that you have in operating your business. So, don't be afraid of that either. I know a lot of people, we get a lot of questions in Remote Millionaires about like, what's the baseline and what's this? And it's like, I almost think that that's the wrong way to think about hiring. Like, we want the best people at the best price, right? And if the best people cost a little more, then we should probably figure out how to pay a little more so we can get those best people, right? The best people aren't out there looking for the lowest paying job, I guess is another way to say it, right? And Frank, so some of the specific criteria we look for is exactly what Nick was just saying in that little monologue. Communication on it with their current responsibilities. Are they proposing? Are they initiating things on their own? Are they, like, sometimes you have somebody that'll come to you and they'll be like, look, I think I have a way to make this process better. Those are the kind of people, the self-starters, the always on time, the always hitting their deadlines, always doing those things, the great communicators. Those are what you're looking for there. And Nick, I know I want to blaze through a couple more of these. I know we're hitting the hour. Jacqueline wanted to know, how do you pay your project manager, Nick? Is it hourly or per project?
So it really depends on what revenue like where you're at with your revenue. Obviously, if you have a lot more cash flow, then you could pay somebody a more solid, stable income. But in the beginning, what I do is I try to give them a small base, $300, $500. It really depends how much work you have available too. And then I also give them a fixed fee based off of whatever client that they're working on. So let's say that I have a project manager helping me with one SEO client. I will probably give them about $100 a month to help me do the various things that a project manager will do for that SEO client. So if I'm selling SEO, the cost of that is like on-page content, off-page signals, backlinks, etc., and then project management. Each one of those things is around $100. So you're at about a 60, 70% margin, depending on what signals you buy, if you include a project manager fee. And so if you have a project manager and you're paying them $300 a month, and then they have 4 clients that they're helping manage projects for, and you're paying $100 per client, that at least gives them enough income to be, like they're making some money with you. And the more clients you get, then the more that they're going to make, because you're going to give them more commissions. So they're kind of tied to the success and growth of what you're doing too, which makes them want to do better in their project management role, because that frees you up to go out there and get more clients.
Yeah. Awesome. And Lori, so yes, so part of our hiring process, we do test projects. So like if we're looking for somebody who that needs to know WordPress skills, we might give them a simple test project like, hey, here's a WordPress theme and some demo content. Go set it up and let us know when it's done. Some of these projects are easy, and so we don't, we'll just ask them to do it. It shouldn't take them that long. If it's something more involved or specific, then yes, you can pay them to do those. I wouldn't expect somebody to build you your agency website as a test project, I guess is what I'm trying to say, right? You want to be respectful of their time. And if it's something quick that just shows you what they know, great. And if not, then work out a deal where you can pay them to do a test project. So, yeah.
And then, the other thing for like administrative type roles or operation type roles, project managers, et cetera, the test project that we do is we have them go through an assessment. And so the assessment is like a Google document that there's a list of instructions on how to complete this Google document. And really it's trying to qualify people with their attention to detail, how well they pay close attention to all the instructions and how well they come back with this document. It's like kind of a piece of homework, right? With all these different things. Copy the document, copy all the text and put it in a new document. Rename the document exactly as I'm laying out the title in this sentence. go through the next paragraph and highlight these 5 words, like things like that. And that if somebody fills out that assessment, number one, they're actually interested in working with you. They're not just, hitting up every job they can possibly find on Upwork or Indeed. And then number two, you're going to know how, like, just when you open that thing up, does it look exactly the same as the other, or does it have all the required changes and requests that we have in there? You can quickly see how much somebody pays attention to detail. And, if they ask questions, that's a great sign in the process too, stuff like that. So the assessment is a great way to qualify those more admin operations type jobs.
That's awesome. We have one more thing to do before we get out of here.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money, money.
Dollar, dollar. Dollar, dollar. Ching, ching, bling, bling, chatter. You ain't talking money, then you're talking no matter.
Does your brother get royalties off that shark?
I do.
So our 2 winners for the Cash App giveaway that went to the post at the beginning of the stream and congratulated our shout out people are Kristen Bedard and Phil Dans. Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations, everybody. And if you're interested in Click Agency AI, which is not our product, it's just something we brought to the community. You want to check out our bonus package, go to offlinesharks.com/automagic. I think I answered all the questions I saw in there about it. One, it is a one-time fee. You do get the infinite credits as part of our bonus package, plus all of our other bonuses. And then I think if you go to our bonus page and click through to the sales page, there's a video there and they show you some of the things it creates and all that stuff. But it's a heck of a deal for what they're charging. It's an amazing little piece of software. I know you guys are going to love it. Go check it out. If you have any questions, hit us up, offlinesharks.com/support. And we'll see you here next Friday. Same shark time, same shark channel. Until then, stay safe. Practice aloha, everybody.
You've been watching the Aloha Marketing Jam Session, your weekly marketing live show, always bringing you the latest strategies and tactics to build your remote empire from anywhere in the world. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this stream. You can stay up to date throughout the week with the Remote Millionaires Podcast at remotemillionaires.com/podcast and Nick's YouTube videos at nickponte.com/YouTube. We'll be back here next Friday for another live show. Until then, aloha.